Welcome to another episode of Healing Through Love. Each week, we share ideas, experiences, and resources to increase the awareness of domestic and family violence and to empower survivors to grow and thrive. We talk with experts who share their advice, or with people who have experienced abuse, no matter where they are on their journey. This is all about healing through love. And now, here are your hosts, Sharlene Lynch and Rose Davidson.
Hello and welcome to the Healing Through Love podcast. I'm Sharlene Lynch, and together we're shining a light on hope, resilience, transformation in the journey to end domestic violence. Each week we bring you inspiring interviews with changemakers, survivors, advocates, and experts who are making a difference in the lives of those affected by domestic and family violence. Whether you're on a healing journey or you're supporting someone who is, this is your space for powerful stories, practical tools, and heartfelt inspiration. Let's heal through love. I'm excited for our amazing guest today, Girisha. Oh, Girisha, I'm going to try the last name, but I'm probably going to murder it, so I'm going to miss it. She's beautiful German accent. It's lovely. She is a trauma-based transgenerational healing specialist. We are going to dive in to find out more about that. She's an orgasm coach. Oh, I want to get to the nitty-gritty of that. She's an economist. Now, how do all of those go together? We're not sure. We're going to find out. And the founder of Holistic Empress-O method. I'm going to find out more about that. And the Conscious Woman Academy. And today she's going to share with us a link for her ebook as well. So you'll have all access to that just for listening to today's episode. Her powerful story begins with an abusive childhood marked by emotional suppression, shame, and a deep sense of voicelessness. Through decades of healing, including transgenerational work with her mother, she's transferred her pain into global mission. Hello and welcome to the stage.
Hello. Thank you very much for having me here. And I can share my story and also how we can also together, how we can do this worldwide healing, because we are, first that we are not alone. And the other one that we need to be together in order to really find the peace and harmony inside.
Okay, so we need to be together. All right, let's dial it back to when we're in that space where we're the victim of domestic and or family violence, is that we are generally very isolated. They keep us that way. It's safer for them. And we living in that level of blame, shame, and guilt, the low frequencies, we sometimes ourselves self-protect by keeping ourselves isolated from others. So let's dial it back to talking to people who are in that space. What could be the first thing that we could do to move forward?
Yeah, I love this question because most of the time we don't know. And may I just share a very recent story, what happened with me last week. And I kind of like experience some kind of accident together with a trauma and the shocking experience. So from this recent experience, I can share what we experienced in our childhood. So what happened? I wanted to get on a bus, and this automatic door just started to close, and I fall back to the street. And for a few more minutes, so just these were minutes, I couldn't move, I couldn't speak, I was just frozen at that moment. I didn't feel pain. I felt so kind of like the frozen state is the best way, that I was fully closed. I didn't know, it was just a moment, just a sharp moment. And for a minute, I didn't recognize with my mind what happened. And immediately people just came to me and asked whether I need help. I couldn't speak. I felt, I was absolutely aware of what's going on around me, but I was this frozen moment. And after that, when we were waiting for the ambulance, and then I was just crying. I was fully present. So because I done a lot of inner work, but still I got the shocking experience, and my reaction was the best I could at that moment: silence, closeness. Yeah, as you said, isolation, because I couldn't connect. I'd rather be with myself than showing to the world, what's happening. And even I didn't know what I need. So this is, if you can imagine a little child who just experienced a shocking moment. Either it was an accident or a physical abuse, or just a kind of like a shouting or criticism. So it can be only in a simple verbal abuse, when I was criticized, when I was judged, when I felt that this judgment was not true, because I felt that something different happened than, what I was blamed for, or others pushed the responsibility to me. So these are the moments when we have no voice. There are no words. Even we disconnected from our basic needs. It's like really, really a frozen moment when there is nothing.
Thank you. That's a beautiful share. I know that in my long journey through family and domestic violence, that I've had lots of different responses, and they all have stemmed from fear. And either I freeze, like you say, or I fight, which is never really a good way. But anyway, there's has so, or I run. So that all based on a level of fear responses because we're in a fearful situation. And I think what happened for me particularly is, over a period of time, I became a little numb to what was happening around me, and just treated it as, well, this is just normal, and part of being human. And yeah, so I hear what you're saying. I hear what you're saying. So with everything that you bring to the table and your level of genius and what you do to make a difference for humans, when we're stuck in this space, in this fear space, what would you suggest we do to help us move forward?
Yeah, absolutely. Then you mentioned the fear. So when there is a fear, because I realize something or I experience something similar, I don't want to experience this kind of fight or flight or freeze, or I'm just kind of like I want to run away in any way, or I want to be invisible. This moment, I don't feel safe. And the main point to create safety. And most of the time, when we are in this shocking moment, we cannot create safety. Therefore, we need to start to create from now. Uh, and um, and because if I have the safety inside of me, then there is a source or resource I can always come back. And the safety, I mean, not like usually we are thinking this, what gives us safety from the outer world. As a victim of a domestic violence, even we have never experienced that kind of safety inside of our body. I'm also doing a very special, I'm calling trauma healing massage, which is a kind of like 1 day process, one-on-one. And when we start to do the healing work, there is a moment when I'm always teaching how to reconnect or create safety inside of the body somehow. And this is like not just I'm repeating myself, I'm safe, I'm safe, I'm safe, because somehow we need to embody it and anchor it in our body, because all kinds of traumas, abuses are also blueprinted and in our body. So our body mainly memory has the memory of these negative experiences. So therefore, we consciously need to create safety and also different kind of sources what we can connect to in this special moments. And the other thing what also helped me with me for me last week, then I was fully present every single moment. So therefore I was just as as it was needed, I was talking to others or look around, but most of the time I was in my body. I reconnected with my body, and I think this could be also a really, really important resource in any kind of tools. Our listeners have the how you can come back to your body, how you can create presence in your body through your senses, through your movements, through your breath. So any kind of tools just create more and more presence in your everyday life.
I hear you. And all of those modalities and techniques are amazing. I love it. Me personally, it was as simple as putting a body moisturizer on. So that was safe touch and showing myself love and self-care and self-maintenance and just affirmation as well whilst I'm rubbing on a cream, just to let myself that I love you. I love that part of my body and everything's okay. So you're right, 100%. All of these things happen from a fear space, and what we really need is that beautiful safety. I love it. So now you work through several different modalities, different techniques that you use. What are some of your favorite techniques?
Oh my gosh, the most magic are coming from the transgenerational healing. And also, I'm working a lot with the history of our roots. So I usually suggest to have the DNA test to see, what kind of nationality roots we have. Because as I'm Hungarian, but I also have a kind of like German or Schwab roots. So these are so determining my story and my history and what I'm also embodied and what I'm carrying in my body unconsciously.
Oh,
And also it's with working with also this, and also I'm very kind of like lucky that I can do my inner work together with my mom, which is most of the time it's challenging. And usually I'm saying that, it's easy to go to a therapist or a helper, in different kind of retreats and just kind of like purging out my pain, my hurts, my wounds. But when I'm sitting together with my mom, and usually, I'm holding space for our common healing work, and when I have my memory of different kind of stories, and I have that kind of either I already worked on that story or and my emotions or not. But when my mom was telling me with full of love how she felt being hurt or wounded when I did this or didn't do something, it was like, oh my gosh. So this is a big challenge, but it's so beautiful how, as we are doing the healing work together, that much more and much more is unfolded. And she also has the opportunity to talk about the things openly and honestly, she felt so much shame around that because she lived her 71 years full of abuse. And my father was born during the Second World War. So he was bringing so much, historical trauma and collective trauma and also survival and mode from there. And 5 years ago, my father passed away, and my mom, within 3 months, my mom almost followed him. And it was a moment when I realized, and it was 1 week when she had three gates to really pass away. And I told her that, look, you can make a decision whether you are staying here or following my dad. And she didn't understand because consciously she wanted to leave. But this is only, just 3 to 5% of, what we are carrying in our body. So the rest is in our unconscious. So unconsciously, she couldn't imagine whether after 71 years she could live without abuse, without daily abuse. And finally, she made a decision and she started to live a big letter of life. And she's enjoying her life. She's traveling, she's dancing, she's cooking, she's gardening. She's going to different kind of conferences and events. And she started to live her life. And even she was always supported to me and to my brother, and she was always there for us. But I just received a totally different mom I always desired. From love and not from pain, not from shame, not from victimhood, not from dramas, but really truly supportive, encouraging, and empowering. And so it's the biggest gift I could ever receive.
Oh, I love it. It's never too old to wake up, really, is it? So it doesn't matter. It can be at death's door and we can make a different decision and step forward. And I love the work that you're doing. Now, some of our audience might not know what transgenerational healing means. So could you unpack that a little bit for us?
Absolutely, yeah. Thank you for the question. Transgenerational patterns are just we are inherited from our ancestors. So basically, when we were perceived that in our DNA and in our body, directly we have the second generation. So my grandmother, because when my grandmother my mother was perceived, then my grandmother's story since my mother was perceived was absolutely in my body right now. And if we just look back, there was a world war. So there was so much scarcity for survival, and also, that a lot of sexual abuse, verbal abuse, scarcity, this kind of like standby position all the time, and I don't feel safe. And as you said it, the fear all the time, whether what is the next moment, what will be the next moment, and this is absolutely in our body. It's not seen, that we are vibrating as we are scared. What is the next? That's why we are scared from the unknown, because this is literally in our body. Therefore, it's very important to work and learn more about what happened in especially our parents and grandparents' life. And of course, we can go back, that more generations. And also, it's very good if you are creating your family tree, that you can learn the stories of and also different kind of stories from the family, because these are unconsciously determining our habits, our addictions, our scarcity, and why we are scared to really step further. I'm sure that there is a flat window, that I can create much more abundant life than my parents, but there is a flat I couldn't jump over. And this is absolutely when you're feeling that, that you always procrastinate or have a fear to make a decision or live with new opportunities. It always can find a root that there were some ancestors who lost things, or they experienced any kind of traumas or abuses. Why? What we are still carrying, and we have the opportunity with so many tools that we can a little bit dig deeper. We can find, our treasures, because I'm also doing these transgenerational healing in groups, that we can find the resources, because our history and our ancestors had a lot of resources. We can directly have the access to it. But this pain baggage is absolutely covering all of this. So therefore, we feel that we cannot have the access to the beauty, the abundance, the joy, the pleasure, and the good things.
I
And so I think that's why it's very important to really learn a little bit more about where we came from.
I love it. And look, even if you're listening today and you are an orphan or you've been adopted and you don't know your history, you can still unpack all of these things and more through these beautiful processes that she offers. Now, you've got a book that you've written called Unapologetic Pleasure, and our audience has got access to that. The link is in the show notes and in the show description. So that is more about having a little bit of fun. I'll let the book explain all the details, but it's a must read. But just in closing today, would love you to give us your final words of wisdom to our audience.
Yeah, just kind of like allowing some really nice that, yeah, your past that doesn't determines you, that you can create in the present your new future.
I love it. And it's so true. Our past does not have to determine who we are. You can make the choice. You've got the power to make the decision, regardless of how many generations this has been going on for. I know myself as a recovered hoarder, not just my father, but my father's father and the father before that were all hoarders. So, an alcoholic of 30 years, now sober 10 years, it goes back hundreds of years. Yeah. So you can shift and change these behaviors. Just because it was doesn't mean it has to be moving forward. I love it. If you're listening today and you're a survivor of family and or domestic violence, reach out to Healing Through Love. We have beautiful pamper days. So think day spa on steroids, where you come in and 25 of our practitioners give you a beautiful experience. So your hair done, your makeup done, you get a massage, your chakras aligned. Look, the list is endless and it's a beautiful, beautiful experience, and it's all free as a survivor. And if you're listening today and you are a practitioner and you've got a heart for change and you want to hold the space just for the day to help these women heal, show them that we care, and help them on their journey to transition to what's possible for their lives, reach out to us from Healing Through Love. As of 2023, we've become a global entity, and now we're teaching people all over the world how to run these beautiful events. And this year, we've been nominated for a Global Peace Award. So we're very excited about that. Thank you so much for joining us today on this beautiful episode, diving deep into everything about I can't even say the word, generational trauma, I'm going to call it. It's been a privilege and a pleasure. It's a goodbye from us at Healing Through Love, and a goodbye from Girisha.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you for joining us for this episode of Healing Through Love. You can get further resources, see the show notes, or simply reach out to us via our website at htlaustralia.org. Thanks so much for joining us, and we look forward to your company next time on the Healing Through Love podcast.